My desire is that we leave really pumped up. And I know that the lineup is crazy, but I'm so happy that you guys did the registration, which was hugely thorough. But at the same time, we'll make sure we're in touch with all of you after here. It doesn't end here. The journey has just begun.
Very good morning to you all, and welcome to Youth at the Table Mentorship Conference 2020. I bring you greetings from President Tutuwa Ahwoi and the presidency, where I serve as Youth Engagement Coordinator, in charge of running our local and diaspora youth engagement initiatives. Youth at the Table is an initiative designed with a twofold agenda. One, to increase the representation of young people at the higher decision-making tables of the country by capturing and conveying our perspectives and proposed solutions to the nation's development gaps. Secondly, it is a movement to encourage the coming together of young people to build ourselves up with experiences that increase our access and exposure to the dynamic futures we seek individually and collectively. Today, as we settle into the maiden edition of this mentorship conference, and I share my network with you, it is my hope that whether speaker or delegate, your experience here highlights for you the infinite potential that lies in you, and sparks in you a commitment to amplify youth voices and promote youth representation in your world. Ladies and gentlemen, to help me welcome our youth, I call on a national treasure. The government knows him as Mr. Michael Owusu-Adjei. His fans know him as Obidi, and the world calls him Sarkodie.
You know, when it has to do with the corporate and the entertainment industry, there's this big gap in between that people don't want to affiliate with. But then this woman took a different route, and for some strange reason has this connection with creatives, got me into circles that I never thought I could get to by just doing rap music, you know. But she definitely shaped me into what Sarkodie is today. So ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause, let's welcome the keynote speaker, Madam Cynthia Quarcoo. Mama C.
You are seated right here in this conference room. You are the ones who represent the present and the future of our beloved country, Ghana. You are the soul and the spirit, and you embody the aspirations and the hope of Ghana and Africa at large. Africa has the youngest population, with almost 60% being people under 25 years. You, the youth, our hope, our pride, our power, and our potential. The urgency and need to unlock your potentials is imperative for our collective good. I believe in your generation, and I believe that through your gifts, your genius and ingenuity, Ghana will be on the move towards a positive transformation. For far too long, you, the youth, have not had a chance to be at the round table. But the question that I asked myself when I was preparing my speech last night is, must you wait to be called? Sometimes it's imperative that you create a table of your own when you're not invited to take a seat on one. And this initiative is a response to that sense of urgency. Being part of this group means you have been called and have been chosen to make a difference in your careers. You're the answer. You are the ones to redefine and rewrite the story of Ghana. You are the future Ghana has been waiting for, and your time is now. These unique experiences of mine have greatly influenced me as a career professional. I become who I am, and I am still becoming who I want to be because I embraced discipline, diligence, resilience, humility, and gratitude whilst climbing the career ladder. I am confident that every young person who is guided by these principles will do same and even achieve more. My journey wasn't always without any challenges. I've had my fair share of challenges whilst on the professional path of my choosing. The main one was my mindset, which limited me in many ways. But breaking from a negative mindset and embracing a positive one changed my life for good. There's possibility. Your thoughts create your reality. You have been chosen to champion a cause for Ghana. I'm going to leave you with a question. The table has been created. Are you ready to take a seat? Thank you very much.
Speech by Mama C, Cynthia Quarcoo. It's made us start to think, well, it's got my brain ticking on where we wish to be. And if the table that we think we're meant to sit at doesn't fit for us, we can create our own. And I think the individuals on the first panel for this conference are quite dynamic. They are very, very interesting individuals. They've created their own tables. They've carved their own niche for a space they find true success. The individual who's going to moderate the first panel, though, Dior, is someone I admire virtually and physically when I get the chance to catch up with her, for her fashion, for her beauty, and all the tips she shares with us on social media. Without further ado, I'd like to call up on the stage Dior Bediako.
Okay, so I am going to welcome my panelists onto the stage. You guys can just filter through, come on, and clap them as they come up. And we hear about all these super successful people who have very solid routines. What are your habits and routines that you feel have made you successful and you would advise our youth to adopt in their lives or even just try?
I think for me, it's just when I know exactly what I want to do, and then I break it down, coming down. So I said, and I'm going to say here as well, that I want to go IPO. So I want to list on the stock exchange. So because I know that's what I want to do, I am working it backwards to be able to get there, which is I need to have the right partners, I need to set up the right structures and stuff. So that directs how my day goes in everything that I do. So I can't really tell you that, you know, I'll wake up in the morning. Sometimes I'll get to work at 10 o'clock because I have children or I have to do something before, or I have to go to the prison or something. But I want to go IPO. So when I pick up my pen or I get into a meeting, I want to go IPO. So my conversations are on an IPO level, my decisions are on an IPO level, and I will go IPO.
We hear a lot about prioritization and making the most of your time and really making sure you're optimizing. That's great, but how do you know what to prioritize? How do you actually look at your long to-do list and say these are the priorities? How do you set them?
Realistically, right? It's the things that just kind of need to get. It's tough for you to say. I can sit here, look at the youth, and say, you go this, you do this, that. Sometimes the priority is if you don't just pick a few, right? Over time, I think it gets better. What are the most important things to actually move the pin? So from a business standpoint, what are the big items, right? You can get lost in the detail, but what are the big items that actually move the pin? Once you start actually punching stuff off your list, you just notice you start getting a bit more efficient with your time, especially when you have to do multiple things. And you can prioritize one business 3 things, another business, 2 things, family, another 3 things, right? So you're already getting to 8. But yes, just everybody, it's subjective. Everybody has what will make the priority list, right? And it shouldn't be that deep, really. Just start getting stuff done. Write it down and start getting stuff done.
Prince Moses, what is your point of no return story?
So, mine, I'm going to take you a few years back, but it's a lot of years back, when I was your age. And so I had a plan growing up. I wanted to be several things, but I wanted to hit that golden triangle of communications. And so I was thinking about journalism and communication. I was thinking about the service industry, so that would be hospitality, the hospitality industry, or the MICE sector, which would be meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. So now I wanted a job in that sector. I sent about 200-300 CVs. I think I counted, I stopped counting around 198. It's true. And I kept on going, and no one would hire me. It was bad. And so finally, the chap from the recruitment agency said, you have so many CVs, so you must have done so much in terms of research. I said, yes. So you must know so much about this industry. I said, yes. So why don't you sit and propose something to the companies? Because you must know the gaps by now. Brilliant. So I went back, selected 3 companies, studied them like crazy, and then did business plans for them to start new departments of what I could do, what I proposed, what I would propose, and what I could do. All 3 of them called me back. Yeah.
How do you maintain this feminine energy to be a boss, to be a mom, and still be successful, be at the top of your game, to want to IPO, which is huge, and to have that as your anchor and your drive, and for that to be the identity of your future self, but also having the identity of a mother and a woman, and still wanting to be, I guess, soft and perceived in your, true nature. How? The thing is, I won't lie, I don't think about being feminine. I don't know if I'm feminine. But I see it's a thing, right? People want to understand how to be and still show your femininity and just be authentic, and you may have one leadership style, another person may have another. Is it working for you? Are you getting results with it? If you're not, you change a bit, you get some coaching if you have to. But at the end of the day, be true to yourself, develop whatever your leadership style is, compromise. You know exactly where you're going. There's a reason why you are holding that vision. And, tunnel vision with it. Yes, you would have teams that would align and they help you along the journey. You listen to them. You take in whatever counsel is coming from your different team members and people that you trust. At the end of the day, the decision lies with you. So you need to have your head properly screwed on to go through that. It's not about whether you're a woman or if you're feminine or not. It is what it is. You want results and you know where you're going. Thank you so much.
I'm going to call my brother back up on stage, Jake, for him to take on the next exciting part. I think the most exciting part of the program for me personally, a conversation with Bozoma. Let's give him a round of applause, guys.
We've all been following her journey, and we are so thrilled to have a Ghanaian representing us at everywhere, really.
Hey.
And so we're grateful you're here. I always say Beyonce didn't know she was going to be Beyonce. She just worked hard every day to be excellent at what she was doing, and she ended up becoming that and everything that came with it. Generally, do you think that is something that is true about great individuals like yourself, that you really don't know that one day you're going to be CMO of Netflix per se, but you just know that if you work diligently at something, you're good? Is that the strategy, to just wake up every day and be excellent and then eventually get there? Or is there a real plan from the beginning to be that?
That's a very, very hard question, you know? I think the real challenge is not whether or not you have a plan, like the 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan, which I don't. I still don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm gonna do next year or 5 years from now, which is fine by me. But I always knew I was gonna be great, for sure. You know, I do remember, and maybe some of you will identify, you know, that I remember like early on, early on in my career, when I first started out, I remember that if somebody didn't give me the respect I thought I deserved, I always like thought in the back of my head, just wait. One day, just wait, you know? And some might call that arrogant, or maybe some people would say that that is not a great way to live. But for me, it always has been. You know, it's inspired me to be that much better at what I do every single day, because I know that greatness is what I'm supposed to do. You know, that if I'm actually not living up to that standard, then I'm not fulfilling what I'm supposed to be doing. So for me, it's been a process of trying to get better every single day at what I do and not settling for anything that is less than worthy of me.
I think that really sums it up quite well. Is it like this kind of intuition that you know, okay, maybe at this point I need to be moving in this direction, or is there some kind of strategy at all?
Yeah, the only strategy really has just been true, you know, being true to myself. I can't tell you how many people have given me advice about what to do, when to do it, what job to take, where to go. Everybody has an opinion. Look, my mother is with me on this trip. She's not here in this room, so I can talk about her.
Go ahead.
She has very strong opinions. So does my dad about what I should be doing. And it's no offense to say that if I listened to them, I wouldn't be sitting here in this seat. You know? Because the challenge for all of us is that we really do have to pay attention to what it is that we want. You know, are you in the right place? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel like you're growing? Do you feel like it's the next step for you? Nobody else matters. Literally no one else. And so when I am trying to make a decision about a next step in a career, or whether I should take a job or not, whether I should stay, I'm really only listening to my own counsel. And that is a very difficult thing to do, because all of us, you know, we care, right, about the people who care for us. You know that they're not advising you because they hate you. You know, they're not advising you because they want you to do poorly. But think about this. They've never been where you are before. No one has. They've never been there. So how would they know? And they can love you as much as they want to. They can, you know, say, oh, well, you know, when I did this, or when I saw that. But they have literally never been where you are. So how would they know? So the only person who really knows is you. You know, so for me, it has been, I would call it discipline. Discipline in listening to myself, discipline in listening to my intuition, discipline in making sure that, again, I don't settle for less than I think I'm worthy of. No, it doesn't always work. And I have certainly failed a bunch of times, but nobody ever sees it because it's like the successes come. You know, that's the whole point. It's like you have to fail so that you can then succeed. No one has a trajectory that is just like that. Literally no one on the planet Earth. No successful person you have ever read about or seen has a trajectory that has no dips in it. So the real magic is to understand that even when you fall, or you make a wrong decision, or you fail, or there's a setback, that you're not done. It's like, how quickly can you fall? How quickly can you get up? You know, I call it the fast fail. Fast fail. You know, it's like, if you're gonna fail, do it fast. Don't drag it out in failure. You know, it's like, if you're gonna fall, just fall down, get back up. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the best way to recover. And so it's not about always making the right decision. But I can tell you for sure and 100% that every time I've made a decision for myself and it has failed or has succeeded, I've never regretted it. And so even the, you know, career moves or the changes I've made that didn't pan out the way I thought they were gonna be, I haven't regretted them because I decided.
Right.
You know, because you know what happens? What happens when somebody advises you and then it goes wrong? You blame them. I should have never listened to them. They didn't even know what they were talking about. I don't even know why I listened to that person. And then here you are blaming yourself for somebody else's decision on your life. That sounds really crazy. It's like, the only person that should get, the blame or the praise is yourself, and you'll feel good. I want you to make your impact. I want the world to know your name. I want them to recognize you when you walk in the room. I want them to try to be like you. Not just because there are Ghanaians who are younger than you, but because they're Albanians, and because they're Chinese, and because they are Spanish, and because they're Mexican. I get those messages all the time from other types of people, and I want us to have a bigger impact in the world.